Coach McDonald here with an opening statement about two newest additions to the class, and then kind of everything as a whole as it pertains to recruiting.
Just excited about the last couple of weeks finishing, or almost finishing out our recruiting class. Got two quality additions. We've been excited from our fall recruiting period with what the staff has done, and have not rested. Have stayed with it, and still some guys out there that we're very excited about recruiting. Staff did an excellent job getting a couple of kids to campus and finishing out the recruiting process. It's really tough late in the game because a lot of people are coming in on these guys, and just excited of the staff's efforts on getting this done and adding two quality players to the fold of an already exciting recruiting class. So still a lot to be done, and still out there recruiting hard and turning the page here, and looking forward to all these guys coming in a couple of weeks to start summer school.
What about, I mean, these two last specifically, I mean, Kevin and TJ, can you talk about them individually and what you liked about both of them?
Sure. Kevin is a kid from Istanbul who is got a lot of international experience, a lot of toughness. I like his savvy and what he brings to the table as a point guard, coming from an excellent program, one of the top high school programs in the nation. He's played against great competition, not only on the court in game situations, but in practice. He's gone against some of the best guards in the country, and that's going to help him experience-wise. And terrific kid, good student, very mature kid for his age. I think he brings a lot to the table in that regard, and great fit once he came on campus. And obviously getting to know him, we knew that he was a guy that we really wanted in terms of his character, his toughness, and what he brings to the table, and adding quality to that position that we need desperately. So we're pretty excited to have him. TJ is a guy that we have identified that can really shoot the ball, stretch the defense. Another quality pickup. Louisiana Player of the Year, was, had a lot of accolades at the end of the year. A lot of people coming in on him, and able to finish it up once we got him on campus. He really fell in love with everybody here and the whole situation. Great family, good student, good fit for our program. Very excited about able to pick him up late. Good football player, so let's keep Coach Taggart away from him, and that's important. You don't want to lose guys to someone on campus. So I've already talked to Willie about that, but we're excited. He's a good piece of the puzzle here late in the game, and we're very excited to have him as part of our program.
With TJ specifically, you talk about people getting on him late. I mean, did you guys know about him, or had you looked at him and actively recruited him before, fairly late in the game?
Well, a little bit late in the game, but we've known about him for a while, and he's been on the radar, and we've been with him a little bit. Early in his career as a senior, there was uncertainty whether he'd go football, because he's been offered by a La Tech and some other different schools, and he's a heck of a defensive end. But as it materialized that he was going to be all basketball, and he had a great year, we followed his progress and stayed with him, and staff did a great job finishing him out and making sure we were in position to get a player like that and get him on a visit. A lot had to shake its way out with our point guard situation, who we're recruiting, who we're going to get on campus. The timing of all that was something we had to manage, and TJ, although we knew about, it did happen late. It materialized late.
Is he, obviously he's with the football comparison, a guard version kind of Stephon in an athletic sense, maybe a few inches shorter, but
I tell you, it's a good correlation, because he's very quiet. He's a very soft-spoken guy. He's a very physically imposing kid too. He's 225 pounds, and I mean, when you see him, he hasn't really been into the lifting part just yet. I was surprised to hear him even say, I'm not particularly fond of it. He's genetically very gifted, and he's a good athlete. He's a good athlete, He's got a chance to do some special things as his body changes and as he comes in. What you have to work with is a college-ready guy physically, and now he has to obviously continue to keep up with the pace of the game in college. But the one thing he really brings to the table, he can flat out, he can shoot the ball. He can really shoot the ball, stretch the defense. I think he's a confident kid. I think his personality, very much like Stephon, is different from off the court, on the court. You know, I think he's very soft-spoken. He's a good kid, and you know, you almost have to force him to come out of his personality a little off the court, but he really competes on the court, and we're happy about that.
This is not the first class this has been true of, but what significance does it have to your program when you guys add players from programs that are historically successful? I mean, Warren Central, St. Patrick, Findlay, even Salmon. I know Chris Duhon played there. So, I mean, you know, what does it tend to do, or what type of kid is typical of coming from a program like that?
Well, I think we talk about culture that we want in our program, and you have to build that, and it does take time. And I think when you're bringing players in from programs that are used to winning, and what goes into winning, and there's no secret ingredients. You know, it's hard work, attitude, effort, all the things, teamwork, all the things that are important to us are important to those programs that they're coming from. And so you have a little bit of a foundation for them to come in that you're excited that they have. And then it's time to get to the college level that obviously goes to another level, and teach them how to do that, and help them with that process. Now, this is just one step in the process of us, you know, getting back to where we need to get, the caliber of basketball and the product on the floor. And this will be an exciting group, but it will have its challenges. But it is great for them to have that foundation coming in, and it's part of what, you know, I'm proud of the fact that the staff has identified the right kinds of kids and the right kinds of talent, and I think it's going to pay dividends over time.
Coach, how is the complexion of recruiting at this point of the year a little bit different from, I guess, earlier in the year? Is there any increased anxiety as you're trying to really fill some voids maybe for next season, knowing this might be your last shot?
Well, I think, you know, first of all, anxiety, I think there's always anticipation, and you always want to do the best you can with the recruiting process and understand the right fit. It's different than last year at the same time, in the fact that we really, with the relationships over time, we're able to get back to, you know, primarily high school recruits. You know, that's important. We're always looking for some experience that's out there, but you don't want to go down. You don't want to recruit somebody that doesn't fit the model that you're looking at. And we were able to add 2 late right now that I'm really excited about. They happen to be high school kids. It's not to say we're not going to look for an older kid, but we were able to get 2 quality high school kids. And you know, we're still recruiting. Obviously, it's a never-ending process. You always have to make sure that you're covering yourselves and doing what you have to do for your program and your best interest of your program. And you know, I'm anxious about the summer. I really am, in terms of getting these guys in here, getting them on campus and getting used to campus, and getting acclimated academically and starting off on the right foot there, and seeing our returning guys and seeing if that leadership is going to be there to try to help these guys along, because they are young. And I hate that word. You know, I really do. I don't like to use that, because I think a lot of people use it as an excuse. But the truth is, there's a bunch of 18-year-olds on campus for the first time, and it'll be an exciting time. I really believe. With
7, you know, would be high school freshmen, or I'm sorry, you know, college freshmen, and you know, 1 senior. You guys will be one of the anyone's younger. I'd like to see them, I guess. But how much was it preached to these kids coming in that, you know, playing time is definitely there for the taking? Pretty much. I mean, you don't have a whole lot of experience back. So I mean, how much was that discussed when you guys went out with all these guys?
Well, a couple things. You know, one, you always talk about the opportunity to come in if they do the right things and work at it and buy into the system, a chance to play. This particular team, we had 4 seniors. We had 1 defection. You know, one guy that we had to actually, you know, lose because we had to get rid of him. And So that's 5 guys off the team, and all 5 played a lot of minutes. So you have a visual for these guys. A lot of time recruiting, you're not so much stretching the truth, but you're selling. You're selling things, and when you have something right in front of you that you can see that 4 seniors are on the way out, another potential starter is out, you obviously know there's going to be a chance for minutes. Now, a lot of these kids too, I love the fact that they're confident because they are good players and they're coming from good programs. They're confident in themselves to come in and make an impact. And you want those kinds of guys. You don't want people that are coming in and they want a guarantee and they're a little bit scared of competition. There's going to be competition on the team next year at a lot of positions, and I like the fact that these young guys have some confidence in them that they're going to be able to come in and contribute.
Whether you guys finish this off with a JUCO type player that has experience or you don't, what kind of challenge will it be to have 7 freshmen with a team that only has 1 senior and he's a 2-year senior? What kind of challenge, I guess, as a staff will that be to get? Because you say you don't like the word youth, but that's
yeah.
what this
I
is.
think starting from scratch in terms of the fundamentals and making sure that we understand what our identity is going to be to start. We have to establish a defensive identity, a team identity. We're not going to get it done. This won't be the kind of team where you have a 20-point score or even maybe even a 15 or 16-point score. It's going to have to be strength in numbers. It's going to have to be great teamwork. And as the head coach and the coaching staff, you have to be patient to an extent. You got to understand there's a fine line between going too hard or unrealistic expectations of where guys are. You have to take pride in the process part of it, and that's not only the coaching staff. That's going to be the fan base a little bit. And I really think we're going to get there. I really do think that the guys have a lot of promise. I think we'll show improvement day in, day out, and I think we'll show a product on the floor that's playing hard. That's the starting point.
Is this really and truly a chance to start from nothing or scratch? I guess, like you said, there's no holdovers from previous staff anymore. Stephon was the last one. I mean, it's all new kids. I mean, is this really a chance to?
I think so. I think it's a great opportunity. I think, first of all, there's a lot of talk about the new guys, but we have returning guys that are going to make an impact because they have college experience and they understand. They have a better starting point, obviously, than rookies. And I have a lot of confidence that there's going to be some guys in the returning class who are going to make a big jump. And then you put in the rookies and understand that if we can bring them along and have some leadership, this could be a great group. But just like I tell them all the time, we can play hard and be very good, but we can look pretty bad if we don't play hard. So we got to understand that. And people are going to be licking their chops thinking we're very young and they can take advantage of that, and I understand all that, but this is the first time we've had a full group of guys by this staff that are not holdovers, and I think that's an exciting challenge.
Social media and all the things that are out there today, I know it's a totally different landscape than maybe what it was 10 years ago, and you've got such a large class coming in that seems to have really bonded and have opportunities to do that through social media and internet. Do you envision there being challenges, as you talked about, kind of 2 factions? You've got the returning guys, but then you have this large class of new guys who are kind of bonding amongst themselves. How do you really integrate those and maybe break down that barrier?
That's a challenge. That is a challenge. It's a good thing. Part of the reason you have those relationships is the same reason why our recruiting class was so good. It takes time to foster those relationships, and those guys have known each other on the circuit because we've recruited them. And once you get 1 or 2 or 3, they start to get to know each other. They're starting to recruit for you and actually try to help with other guys on the circuit that they know, that they respect, that they have competed against. Those types of things happen. I mean, it happened with Derek Gordon and Kevin Caspar. I mean, they played together. It happened with George Fant and Derek Gordon. They were at camp together. Those types of things and relationships help. And then there's always a sense and a challenge to it that you don't want the chemistry to be off balance because of there's a bond between the rookies coming in and the returning guys. It's our job as a coaching staff to break that down right off day one and get the guys to understand strength in numbers and that we're going to be a team. That's how we're going to get it done.
I know you say recruiting's never done. You talked about the possibility of there still being a couple guys you guys are on. But is there anything you feel like in this class that you still kind of need to bring in?
I think there's always a chance that there's such a premium on post players. You know, if you're able to add, the point guard position was obviously huge, and if you can add a quality post player, then you got a chance to increase your depth at that position. I think that's important, but there's not a ton of guys left out there right now, and I'm not saying it can't be done, but you never know. You never know, but that would probably be a priority.
You guys are at 14 right now. What do you do with the numbers moving forward? And if you add more, obviously goes up.
Yeah, you know, a lot has to happen to finish this out. First of all, the recruiting period, the signing period ends in probably about a week and a half or so, and a lot of things can happen up to that point. They can sign all the way up to through the summer. So it's not like their signing period ever ends, but there's uncertainty. I think every year at the end of the year, you have to make sure that you're finishing out academically. You have to make sure that the incoming class, and this is a large class, make sure they all come in academically qualified. So there's a lot of things that can happen across the country. Teams oversign. Every program I've been a part of has had situations where, I mean, I remember one time at Texas we oversigned by 3 in the fall, and ended up having an extra scholarship come springtime. So you got to cover yourselves. You have to do what's best for your program, make sure that you're covered. If you're able to add quality players, my experience is it always works its way out. It really does, and a lot can happen between now and the end of the signing period.
So is it kind of a wait and see thing for you guys? You're just going to continue to recruit and see what happens and figure it out when you are faced with a problem?
Well, you constantly recruit to have a chance at filling a void, if there is a void, and that's the situation every program's in. You don't shut it down because you can end up coming back to haunt you if anything, if you get surprised or if some uncertainty ends up being the wrong situation. So, you know, unfortunately, you're not privy to everything that we're dealing with, and it can't be like that. So, the staff is working hard to continue to recruit and make sure that we're covered and have the best situation to be successful in the future.
What is Brandon's status?
His status is, the best way to put it is, he's worked extremely hard to put himself in position to do much better in school, and we're very, very proud of him for his effort. You know, our staff, academic staff, has done a terrific job. Our basketball operations guy, Andrew Theokas, has really, really worked hard with him and getting back on track, and he's put himself in position from a very low point in the fall to doing pretty well right now. So finals are this week. We're hoping that he finishes up strong, and we're on him and talking to him and supporting him, and it's been that way the whole semester, and he's done a really good job. And now we have to, you know, kind of figure it out at the end of the semester.
Is he still with you guys? Are you hopeful that he can be ready to go?
Definitely hopeful. Yeah, definitely hopeful. I mean, it's but it's one of those deals you're monitoring it, you know, closely all the time.
Is that a deal too where, because of what's required of him, you guys might know if he's not going to be able to make it by the middle of next week, but if he's going to make it, it may still take a while?
I'm so sorry, I didn't understand your question.
Just in terms of the hours that he would have to accumulate and GPA and whatever, is it a deal where you may know by the end of spring finals that he's not going to make it, but if he does well in the spring, does he still have work in the summer to do?
That's exactly the situation. You have to, you know, his situation is twofold. It's a, you know, class per 2-semester deal. I mean, past courses, and then there's a GPA issue, you know, that has to be met. So it's you know, you have to kind of go back and reevaluate once grades are in and understand that there still could be work and he could be good. So it's a constant monitoring, and but the fact that he's come from a deficit and done well and put himself in position says a lot about him.
Yeah, if he's in a position where he's not going to be eligible as a sophomore, I mean, what do you encourage him to do with that?
You know, we've talked a lot about that as well. You know, his options, you know, there's not as many if it's a situation where he's ineligible, but there are options, and you know, we care about him and we're looking after him like he's one of our own. I think he understands that he does have a good opportunity here. I think he likes it here. I think he likes the fan base and really likes the situation. He's trying hard, and you know, he'll have options. Things don't end if that is the situation. So we'll have to just figure out and try to help him the best we can if that arises.
Everybody else, I mean, is communication with everybody else good? Every reason to expect they'll want to be back?
Everybody, it's been a good spring. It really has been a good spring, and I want the guys to finish up finals so that we have that focus finishing this semester strong academically, and on the court, the guys' attitudes and effort have been just terrific. I think as much as you talk about the young group bonding, I think our returning guys have bonded, and actually it's fun to see them all together. It's a fun group to be around right now.
Anything else today for Coach? All right. Thanks, everybody.